Well, during this back-to-school season, parents being urged to keep their children's health top of mind as we kick off that new school year.
But one important part of their health that can sometimes be overlooked and have a major impact on student performance is their vision. Joining us now with some back-to-school eye care advice and talking about the importance of those eye exams is Dr. Paula Luke, professor of optometry at Pacific University in Forest Grove. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. We were both talking during the commercial break earlier about how both Travis and I should have gotten in for eye checks probably a little earlier than we did as kids. Why is this so important for children as they head back to school?
It's very important. One of the things that we point out is 1 in 4 to 5 children actually have some problem with their vision.
Wow.
And oftentimes it's not picked up in a regular pediatric eye exam screening because children can still see 20/20 and have a vision problem.
Oh, so what is a vision problem? So this is how little I know about optometry. Is that if your vision is 20/20, to me that sounds like, okay, signed, sealed, delivered.
Good, right?
Like, yeah, totally. So what are those problems that come up?
Yeah, so a couple of the things that can come up is sometimes children will see double vision. So they still see clearly, but the words look almost like they're moving on a page.
Oh,
or like
interesting.
they're floating.
Oh, we have an example of that now on the screen.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they can see clearly, and so if we check their vision, they would get 20/20 on all of the checks there, but it's other testing that we do where we can pick up on double vision.
Interesting.
Yeah, another thing is focusing up close. So some children really struggle. It's almost as if they've got the old person condition where it's hard to see up close. And if we only check distance vision, and then we would miss something up where they're struggling up close.
Wow, interesting.
And I would imagine that is becoming an even more common issue that comes up as more of our learning moves on to those up-close screens and isn't always at the front of the classroom. So what is the appropriate age to make sure that you're getting in and getting that eye exam?
Yes, so what we recommend, or what the American Optometric Association recommends, is having a vision exam between 6 months and 1 year, anywhere between 3 and 5 years old, and then one right before they go back to school or when they first start school. And some people say or ask us, well, how do you do a vision exam on somebody who's 1 year old?
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah, exactly. We have, and those of us who are pediatric optometrists, we're very familiar with how we can gather data on the little ones, and so we do a lot of objective testing, and we're still able to prescribe glasses.
Well, and you obviously your different stages of life that you just recommended people come in. I would imagine the eye changes over time. So how important is it to keep going back because of changes in the eye?
Yep, it's very important, especially if we find that somebody needs a prescription. We want to follow up with them every year. Some children, if it's not very remarkable, if we don't find anything, we usually recommend every 2 years. There are some conditions where we need to follow them more regularly, so at 3 or 6 months, and that's to track vision improvements with the treatments that we've prescribed.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And I could see how, things like double vision, like astigmatism, like some of those just enough of a vision issue that can cause some headaches. All of that could have an impact on their learning in the classroom. Maybe it's not just that they don't want to read or they don't want to learn, they might be having some other difficulties with it. What are some ways that parents can talk to their kids, especially younger kids, to maybe get a sense of whether they're having some vision issues?
Yes, it's not usually part of the dinner table conversation.
Right.
Do you see two of me or something like that? But it's good for parents to ask their children about, are things clear or fuzzy? I usually use the word fuzzy or blurry. They don't usually understand that term quite as well. But and then have them close one eye and close the other eye and see if it looks the same to them, because some children have one eye that sees very well and the other eye doesn't see well at all, but we don't usually think to check and compare.
And that's different than saying, your dominant eye, like one's like clearly blurry versus one just is stronger than the other. Is that how would you differentiate that, I guess?
Yeah. So a dominant eye is kind of like when you go to take a picture, or if you're looking through a telescope, right? That's the eye that you choose to use most often. For children who have the condition where they have one eye that's clear and one eye that's blurry, it's really is, if they close the eye that sees really well, they probably can't see much at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then it can make a big impact once you get. I had the stigmatism in one eye. Once you have that prescription that evened it out, it's like, oh,
wow,
nice, okay. And hey, real quick, we wanted to mention Pacific University offers some eye care and vision programs that help make this accessible to everyone. Tell us about it.
Yes, so we have a wonderful outreach program, and we call it our eye van, and that van, we take it out into the community and we offer services to communities that don't have easy access to eye care. Additionally, we have school vision screening programs where we do a little bit more of a screening. So we check for those things that I mentioned with children, and we have an agreement with the Forest Grove School District, and we go out to all the different schools in the area.
Oh, that's
and
great.
Students will participate and get an opportunity to see how important vision screenings are.
Nice. That's awesome. That's really great. Well, Dr. Paula Luke, really appreciate the time. This is an important topic to learn about. Some stuff that I definitely didn't know. And like you said, Emily, I wish that I was at a younger age to make sure I had that taken care of.
Absolutely.
So appreciate the time.
Thank you.
And again, to learn more about their community eye care initiatives and optometry education programs, go to pacificu.edu/optometry. Time now is 7:42, and up next on AM Extra, a new